Hello everyone, welcome to Techwiden. Today we have an exciting topic to explore, that is load balancing. If you are running application in the cloud, you know how important it is to ensure the high availability and optimal performance. So load balancing is the key to achieving that. And in this tutorial, we will explore into the concept of load balancing in the AWS cloud. How can we create it and synchronize our instances and divide the traffic to our instances? Load balancing is a kind of a technique which is used to distribute our incoming network traffic across all multiple servers, instances, or our resources. This kind of distribution ensures that no single server is overwhelmed, and it also preventing performance bottlenecks and improving the overall reliability of our application. So today we will focus on application load balancer. It operates at the application layer, that is the layer 7 of OSI model, and is commonly used for HTTP and HTTPS traffic. It is also intelligently routes requests to our specific target based on the content of the request. Now let's go to our AWS console. Right now I have no instance and load balancer into my AWS cloud platform. So first of all, let us launch the instance. Now click on instance. So the procedure is same. Let me name the instance my instance 1. Choose the operating system and type of instance. For key pair, you can create your own key pair, but let me choose proceed without the key pair. In the network setting, choose the HTTP because this time we are going to use the internet, and you can also choose the SSH if you are going to connect your instance manually. Leave the storage part by default and click on advanced detail. Go to the user data. So the user data is basically what do you want to install or what type of packages you want in your instances. No need of install that particular package or files because it was already there. So in my case, let me put a user data which actually define and install a HTTPD, means Apache Web Server, and also started with an echo command of hello Techwiden with my username, which is actually my private IP of instance, and save it into the index.html. So this is a kind of a demo data, but you can create your own data differently on each instances. It may be any kind of web page or anything. Let us launch 3 instances this time because we want to divide the traffic into the instances. So we must have more than one instance. Now click on launch instance. It will hardly take 1 or 2 minutes. So let me rename it as my instance 2 and my instance 3 so I can easily identify the instances. Now go to the left side menu, and in the bottom we have our option of load balancing. So click on the load balancer. While clicking a drop down list of create load balancer, we have other 5 options to create: the application load balancer or network load balancer or gateway or classic load balancer. So for the application load balancer, we can simply connect to our instance or Lambda function with HTTP and HTTPS protocols. And in a network load balancer, the protocol are a little bit of a different. So we will discuss when we explore network load balancer. And in gateway load balancer, there is a concept of API, and we have to create a gateway for our application. So we will explore it also. Although gateway load balancer is a little bit of complex and having no scope in SysOps administration certification, but we will discuss about it. Now there is another load balancer which is known as classic load balancer. Nowadays no one use classic load balancer, and of course it is removed after some time. So you can start your practice with application load balancer. First of all, name the load balancer. Let me name demo ALB. In the scheme we have internet facing and choose the IP address of IPv4. Right now we have only IPv4 address. In the network mapping, we have our own default VPC, or we can create a new VPC if we want. Now choose the default one and choose all the subnets which is mapped into our default VPC. Now move to the security group. Our default security group are already selected, but let us create a new security group. If we have inbound rule of HTTP in our default security group, then it doesn't affect, and we can also choose up to 5 security group, which may have other types of protocols and permission. But to make a simple demo this time, press the control button and click on create a new security group as it open in a new tab. Put the name of group, that is ALB_security group. You can also put the description like allow the traffic. Now add an inbound rule. Select the HTTP in type and in source choose anywhere IPv4. It means allow all traffic. Now go back to load balancer dashboard. Select the security group which we already created. Now go to the listeners and routing. So this is very important. There are two kinds of protocol, that is HTTP and HTTPS. So for the HTTPS, we need a SSL certificate. But for now, let us choose the protocol of HTTP. By default, the port of HTTP is port 80 and we have to select a target group over there. Right now we have no target group. So click to create a target group. So target group is a kind of a logical grouping of instances or our resources that receive the traffic from the load balancer. So it is a kind of a pool of resources that can handle our incoming request. Our target type may be some kind of an instance or server or any IP address, Lambda function and other application load balancer as well. Let us explore it. So there are 4 target type based on instance, IP address, Lambda function and application load balancer. This time we have our instances as a target. So choose the instance. Now let me put a name of my target group. Protocol and port is already defined. Our default VPC is there, and in protocol version, let us choose HTTP1. So it is a kind of a versioning of our protocol, which is HTTP. Health check protocol is also HTTP, and let us leave all in default state, and tag is optional. So click on next. Now as we know, we have already created the 3 instances, so we can choose those 3 instances as a target. It means our all traffic are divided into these 3 instances only. We can add new instances and remove the instances according to our requirement. And there is another concept of auto scaling group in which we can set the threshold mark by which our instances are automatically created and removed. But right now let us choose all 3 instances into our load balancer. Select the instance, click on include as pending below and click on create target group. The target group also check the health status of our instances. If there is any unhealthy instance, then all traffic divided into rest of the instances. In the meanwhile, the health issue of that instance may be fixed or removed. Now move ahead. Our target group has been created, but right now it is not associated with any of the load balancer. Go back to load balancer dashboard. Select the target group which we created. Now there is a summary of our load balancer configuration and information related to their basic configuration, security group, network mapping, and listeners and routing. So all this information we can edit and can choose according to our requirement. Now create on load balancer. It will take some time to create the load balancer because of network mapping, security synchronization, and target group instance mapping. Now there is a DNS name of our load balancer and currently it is provisioning. It will take 3 to 4 minutes to active. So after the acquisition of load balancer, copy the DNS name and go to any browser. In my case, I have a Google Chrome and paste the DNS name into the address bar. So as we can see, one of our instance is working perfectly in our load balancer. And as we refresh it, it will change the instance. It means our traffic is divided into all 3 instances. That's why it shows the different instance every time. You can also put the index file on each instances and see the difference. So this is the process to create a load balancer. Now let's go back to our target group. So once click on the target group and we can see our all 3 instances are healthy. If we found any unhealthy instance into our target group, we can remove or troubleshoot or debug it without affecting other instances. So that's it from today's video. We will explore more in our upcoming videos about the application load balancer and other load balancer also. If this video is helpful to you, then please like, comment and subscribe to our channel for more informative content. Thank you.